It is time. I am slightly late. I just realized there's a spot over here I can use for my Discord plug now. I don't know why I'm not doing that. But hi, hello. I'm sure you've all missed me dearly. I was busy eating dinner, and now I've got some salted caramel ice cream and a glass of cola. You know, we're moving up in the world. Oh god, I am thriving. My throat's a little sore today, but I'd already kind of mentally committed to playing this, so I'm just gonna go for a little bit. But I don't think this stream will be particularly long. Because, yeah, it already hurts my throat to talk for this long. Where were we? Here we were. If, one annoying thing is that when a game is full screen, my mouse does not show up when it's being captured. So, you know, I love that for me. Edmund leaves shortly after this ominous address, leaving me with even more questions than I had before meeting him. How Edmund came to be reborn seems just as much as a mystery to him as it is to me. And now to further complicate matters, it looks like even Lynette might be mooching about Fenchapel. That's quite a lot to take in. One supposedly dead person from centuries ago stopping to say hello is enough for a potential headache, but two? This whole situation smacks of the supernatural. Really, no shit, Sherlock. I'll be all that surprised if magic's playing a big part in all of this, but I thought Leofi's old pendant had been stripped of its powers. I still have that pendant, I wear it all the time, but it should be nothing more than an ordinary piece of jewellery now. But I thought I'd put all that airy-fairy magic stuff behind me after defeating the dragon, restoring Elizabeth's memories and reuniting Elizabeth with Annette, but I guess I was wrong. There's a bunch of loose ends that we've got to tie up. I just wish I knew how. Tired after the drive to Fenchapel, Elizabeth and I fritter away the afternoon, then the evening, doing a little of note. We joined Gran in the living room after dinner to help with a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. She's been pretty into jigsaws lately, while Silent Witness played on TV in the background. Honestly, that sounds class as fuck, to be entirely fair. Like, you ever sat down for a good jigsaw? It happened quite a few times when I was on holiday with, like, my mum and my brother. We'd get it, there'd be a jigsaw we were staying, or we'd buy one, and someone would start it. And then they'd start building it for a while, and like leave it out in the living room or something. Or like, just like the main area of whatever we're staying. And then one of us would come over after a while, they'd like sort of watch for a while, they'd be like, no, you're doing it wrong, and they'd start helping. And then the third person would also watch the other two do it, and by like a day or two into it, we'd all be dead invested in the jigsaw. Good times. It happens multiple times. Probably pictures. How do you do a puzzle wrong? Well, someone looks for the wrong piece. Someone's looking for a piece and they can't find it. And you're like, come on, it can't be that hard to look for it. Surely it's in that pile somewhere. So you start looking as well. And then maybe you find it, you put it in, so like, see, it's not that hard. And they start looking for the next piece, and suddenly you're sucked in. Elizabeth's fond of Silent Witness for whatever reason, and her fingers keep stilling in the search for edge pieces she stares instigated at the TV. Abby loves to use huge words, which is, at least in her writing. I've interviewed her for an article once. She doesn't talk particularly fancy. I think she just likes to throw big words into her visual novels, which sucks for me because I can't pronounce them. I think Silent Witness is dull as Ditchwater myself. It's a show for OAPs after all. What does OAP stand for? Not Open Policy Agent, I imagine. Old ass people? Yeah, probably. After all, but I can't fault Elizabeth for enjoying it. It's not like they had TVs back in her time. She's been living as like a modern girl for the past couple years, but little things I take for granted, like cars and TVs and mobile phones, the internet, is less down to her. I find her continued enthusiasm for the world pretty endearing. I'd rather watch Elizabeth than the TV, so I do. But still, my mind is reeling. Not because I'm desperate to solve the ins and outs of the murder mystery presented in today's episode of Silent Witness, but I have enough mysteries in the real world to contend with. Eventually, exhausted, Gran shuts off the TV, then bids us a good night. She shuffles out of the living room in her indoor slippers, and her pastel cardigan wrapped tightly around her shoulders, but it isn't really cold. Also, suppose you tell me you've never had a family jigsaw? Like, so no one started a jigsaw on like the living room table or something, and then everyone slowly gets engrossed in doing the jigsaw as well. A classic shit. I always think you're too cool for the jigsaw. And then you're like, no, hold on, no, it can't be that hard. Let me look for a piece or two. And suddenly you're in. It's over. So look more night, if anything. Pleasant enough to forgo long sleeves. Yo, an oomphy? Whomst did it? I have many oomphies. Not really. My mom brought this thing so she could put the puzzle away and do it later. That ruins the whole thing. You're meant to do it out in the open so everyone can get sucked into it. Like you'll be passing by the jigsaw, and like you'll feel the call, like the Joker, like the Green Goblin mask, and it'll try and like pull you in. It'll be it's over. Gwimst? Gwen? Is that you? The Gwimpy? My grandma must feel the cold more acutely than I do. I find myself pondering on the account of her old age. It's not on the very edge piece of my grand's 1,000 piece puzzle, then raised to my feet. Try taking a look at Elizabeth, then say, "Do you want to head upstairs?" If you would not mind, I must admit, I feel myself rather tired myself. I'm getting over that. I don't know. I feel like they look weird. I'm used to them being little babies. Driving always exhausts me. The roads around Fenchapel are pretty demanding. Yeah. I agree with a vague nod, though, of course, since I can't drive myself, I don't have any first-hand knowledge of just how tiring these tight country roads really are. I guess I'll find out later, once I've gotten my own driving skills up to snuff. Let's go to bed, then. Do you want to have a bath first, maybe? Ooh. Maybe I never say Uber. I haven't said that shit in years. That sounds lovely. I'll never tire of your baths, regardless of how long I've been living in the century. They're most convenient. Back in my day, when I wished to bathe, I was obliged to do so outside in a lake, or else with water drawn from a well. It's always funny, I reflect, with a small smile, to hear Elizabeth say, "Back in my day." Back in my day, we showered in lakes. It's a phrase that's commonly associated with people who are of a similar age to my gran. Girls like Elizabeth don't have cause to say it, unless we're talking about like the early 2000s, the early 2000s, and denim jeans, and Avril Lavigne? Hold on, another Google. She's apparently a Canadian songwriter. I've never heard of this woman in my life. What are you famous for? Lavigne. Avril Lavigne. Sorry, any music I would know? Come on, work with me here. Google. What's her most popular song? Oh, she wrote Skater Boy. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Now I know who she is. I know that song. I know that lady. The water was always cold and full of fog spot. Often I felt dirtier after I'd bathed than I did beforehand. It was quite the miserable experience. I'll bet people back then must have stunk. I feel more fragrant now than I ever did in the past, it is true. This era has so many wonderful inventions. It'd be an awful waste not to take most of them. So with this announcement, Elizabeth and I exit the living room, then trapeze upstairs. Elizabeth has a bath while I relax in our shared bedroom, which used to be my Aunt Lynette's room, flipping through my phone. Once Elizabeth's all washed and dried, her hair damp and her face flushed, I head to the bathroom to clean up myself. Whip off my makeup, a nightly routine which always takes a small century, then step into the shower. An act I finish in under 15 minutes. Girl is speedrunning. Brush my teeth, comb out my hair, then head back to the bedroom. Elizabeth is already lying in bed reading a book. She's not like other girls. While other girls be on their phone, she be reading book. You know, she's a little quirky like that. A little. I don't know where I was going with that. Well, she has a phone of her own. Dad bought it for her, reasoning that it's a necessity in the 21st century. She doesn't tend to use it that much, because she's not like other girls. Other girls like Snapchat and shopping. She likes learning the blade and books. Yeah, she still hasn't got used to it, though. She had it a while. She's forever leaving her phone on silent, then forgetting to turn it back on to vibrate. And her texts are riddled with typos on the rare occasion she does use it. To her, it's a miracle she can read, never mind type. So, hop off her girl. She's literally just a girl. Phones are useful in theory, because you can contact people even if they're very far away, but they're not so useful in actuality if the owner of said phone never remembers to pick up any calls or reply to any texts. Elizabeth has problems using the TV and the laptop. She can't type to save her life. But despite all that, she's still a better driver than I am. To be fair, all I'm saying is Elizabeth definitely is one of those people that types with 2 fingers, or even like 1 finger, to hitting each individual key. I see people do that with they have desk jobs where they type with all they're doing all day is typing on a computer. Like how do you survive like that? It's a mystery how that worked out, really. Libyans. Lebanons. Lisbons. Lisbon. Lemon. Leprechaun. Lorelei. LeBron. Leslie. Okay, I'm out of things to get started with all. Sent into bed beside Elizabeth, who makes space for me, obligingly by shuffling to one side. Slotting a bookmark instead of her paperback. Elizabeth isn't the type to leave books open, crab-like on her bedside table. Elizabeth sets the tome aside, then looks at me Askins. Are you alright, Barney? You look like you have a lot on your mind. Just weird about the makeup. Yeah, you could say that. Today's been kind of wild. It's been a lot to take in. I quite agree. I too have been given much to consider. I did not at all expect that upon returning to Fen Chapel, we would meet once again with Edmund. Join the club. We have badges. There's a club? Elizabeth looks at me all wide-eyed, intrigued, and damn, she's so innocent. I feel a little bad for being so snarky around her. Not that said snarkiness was directed at her. Elizabeth still struggles with figurative speech from time to time. Tell me none of metaphors back in the olden times. The ice cream's melted and it still tastes incredible. She's got a lot better at it than she was, but certain terms of phrases still perplex her. No, there's no club. It's just a saying. It doesn't, really mean anything. Ah, yes. I still need to get used to that. I don't fully understand why people in this era say things without meaning them. Were we still in my day, I would call such statements lies. But I know you must not mean to lie to me, Marnie. Of course not, that's never my intention. Yes, I know. I can rely on you, and you in turn can rely on me. I don't like this. This feels like bad foreshadowing. Don't you dare do anything. Lizzie. My heart skipped a beat at this remark. Elizabeth's awfully daring, considering she lived so long ago, but maybe people were even more adventurous back then than they are now. It's not like Elizabeth hails from the Victorian era, where people used to cover their piano legs in shame. And if she had, it's not like the Victorians were all stuck up and self-important. At the end of the day, we're all humans, and we all demand affection from one another. That's why Elizabeth and I can understand one another, magical shenanigans aside. Besides being born so many years apart. Does this count as problematic age gap, Yuri? Oh my god. Toxic Yuri? No, this isn't the sweetest. We read Strawberry Vinegar a while ago. But still. She's an ordinary girl, just like me. Maybe that's why I like her so much. I know not what precisely is going on, but I want you to be aware of at least this much. I am still your knight, Barney, though it has been 2 years since I last took up the sword. I swore to protect you when we first met, and my words still hold true. I, unlike people today, do not say things I do not mean. I'll always be by your side, so worry not. Aww. We'll be alright if we are together, regardless of what challenges we have to face. Everything will be just fine. Elizabeth. My heart, which was already fluttering inside my chest, seemed to expand upon hearing those words. Consoled for the moment, despite my residual worries, I dipped my own head to murmur. I know all that. I never once doubted you, not even for a second. You're the best knight a girl could hope for. Oh, my heart. God damn it. And you were the best lady a knight could ever hope to serve. I don't know about that. I do. I'm not being facetious, I really do mean it. You can think that if you want, but... You think that if you want, but I can disagree. I don't think there's anything all that great about me, really, but... I smile. Thank you, Lizzie. I feel a lot better now. Good, I am glad. I feel better myself, knowing that you feel better, and who knows? Perhaps I will not need to take up my sword anew after all. Everything may yet be fine. I hope it is, if anything happens to you. I begin, but I don't finish that. I don't want to contemplate anything so mulled-in. Mudline? God damn it, to Google! Did I spell that right?
Maudlin.
Maudlin. Self-pitying or tearful sentimental. fun. Instead, overcome by the softness in Elizabeth's brown eyes and her voice and her skin, I lean in. In the darkness beneath the covers, Elizabeth's mouth meets my own. And sighing, I surrender myself to her gentle, consoling kisses. Lesbians. The second day. Boom, boom. Fuck, what's that remind me of? It reminds me of something. Hold on, I'm trying to eat the rest of this caramel, solid caramel ice cream. It's long since melted. Okay, there we go. Done. I wake up early in the morning to the chirping of birds and get dressed. Brush my hair in the bathroom, then set about the laborious task of applying my makeup. The concealer goes on first, then the foundation to make my already pale face paler still. I ring my eyes with copious amounts of liner. Elongate my lashes with mascara. Hold on, okay. What is this fucking email? No, my main HUD account will be deleted. I haven't thought about main HUD in years. What even is it? Is it a mod thing? Oh, it's the yeah, the server host. Forgot that thing existed. Oh no. Not my main HUD account. I'm sure I'll live. And dab dark eyeshadow over my lids. Putting on my makeup is an important part of my daily routine. And by this point, I think I've got it down pat. The trick is to try and look like a corpse, but not just any old corpse will do. I want to look like a newly minted corpse, freshly dredged from the wintry river, all shocking white skin and dark, soulful eyes. When rot gets too far advanced, it stops being aesthetic. Once I'm fully styled in gothic glory, I head down to the kitchen. In vampiric glory, I head down to the kitchen. Guard's already awake, dressed in one of her favourite pastel cardigans, and a pair of matching slippers. Why do grandmothers always wear cardigans? Is there like a biological thing? When I reach a certain age, am I gonna feel like, oh, I must wear a cardigan. It's a bit chilly out. I guess she must be making breakfast. She greets me when she sees me, but waves aside my offer to help. Oh no, it's fine. I'm almost finished. You can go and sit with Elizabeth if you'd like. I'd bring you your porridge soon enough. You like porridge, don't you, Marnie? Just like porridge. When you're making it, yeah, your porridge can't be beaten. How do you fuck up making porridge? I am glad to hear it. You're so sweet, you'll have to sprinkle your porridge with extra sugar. Actually, putting sugar in your porridge does sound really good, actually. I know that's how you like it, Marnie, dear, and no, I won't let you stay otherwise. You've always had a sweet tooth, it runs in the family. Your father couldn't be trusted in the kitchen whenever I've been making biscuits. He used to snaffle the whole lot fresh from the oven while they were still hot, and then he'd wonder why his stomach hurt. That sounds like that, alright. But that's not a little kid anymore, stealing biscuits when his grand's back is turned, but you can still eat for England, especially when biscuits are involved. I seen him polish off a jumbo pack of Hobnobs all by himself in one sitting. It's impressive, actually. Just inhales them like they're made of air, and not, oats and chocolate. Let's get around Gran, then join Elizabeth at the table. Elizabeth woke up when I did, but she finished dressing more quickly, probably because she never bothers with makeup. That always gives her a good half-hour start on me in the mornings. I know it might sound like an excessive time to spend on my appearance, but it's not like I'm vain or anything. At least I don't think so. Makeup's just an art form, like any other, If it's worth doing properly. You can't rush creativity. Hello there, Marnie. Elizabeth greets me cheerily as I slide into the chair beside her. Your makeup's looking more impressive than usual, Marnie. Do you really think so? I push my phone out of my pocket, feeling a little self-conscious, then examine myself in the camera. My eyeliner isn't crooked, is it? I had to reapply it a couple times. I never get used to sticking sharp, pointy objects near my eye, no matter how often I apply my makeup. It's one of my weaknesses. That shot of Alexa's eyeball in Clockwork Orange was even more unsettling, to me at least, than anything I'd seen in the Saw movies, I swear. It looks fine to me. I don't think it's crooked at all. You look very gloomy, just like a little ghost. Stop, you're too cute. Thanks, that's the look I was going for. And I think you pull it off wonderfully. It is impressive, really. You're able to do your makeup every single morning, and so attentively too. I don't have the patience for it. I do not even know how I'd go about it. It looks very fiddly. I could teach you if you like, but I think you look fine without makeup. You don't really need it. I think you look fine without it too, though I know that's not really the point. You paint your face because you enjoy it, do you not? It's pretty fun, yeah. In the beginning, I think I got into it mostly to piss my mother off, but I guess it's a more important part of my daily routine. Or something. She keeps doing the little free move. My makeup really was awful in the beginning though, you should have seen it. I mean, everyone's awful at shit when they start. That's the point of starting. It's just what happens. I don't know where I was going with it. You know what I mean. I had like zero sense of subtlety, so I just slather foundation all over my face. It wasn't in the right shade until it started to crack. I figured my mother didn't want me going to school like that because she was a boring old adult. I think she made about a point now. I look like a right plonker. Did you wash your makeup off to her Did you wash your makeup off to her behest? Before I left the house, yeah. I'd always reapply it in the bathroom at school though. I was about to get pushed around by any stupid authority figures. I wanted to be an individual. Even if I said stupid authority figures, in this case my mother, even if I think said stupid authority figures, in this case my mother, I had a really valid complaint when she said I was making myself look like a depressed jester. Oh well, you live and learn. Goodness me, I used to be such a rebel, Marnie. What do you mean used to? I still am. Anarchy is like the way to go. Maybe, I think. I shrug. I don't know. I can't say I cared for all the hoops I had to jump through to get into uni. It was a massive production. Why does everything in the world have to be so hard? I want to know too, girl. The world nowadays certainly seems fonder of paperwork than it was during my childhood. That's because back when you were a child, paper hadn't been invented yet. Were you still writing on parchment? I don't know, I can't say. I did not know back then how to write at all. Not even my own name. Yeah, I know. I remember how much trouble you had when you first got here. I guess the world was pretty anarchist back when you were alive then. Things weren't relegated nearly as much. Things were more monarchistic than anarchist. Oh my god. More monarchist than anarchist. Though people were, by and large, left to fend for themselves. There was an awful lot of banditry, and it wasn't uncommon for crimes to go unnoticed or unpunished. Getting by could be rather difficult. And of course, no girl dressed as you did back then. Foundation had not been invented yet, or false eyelashes. I guess if I wanted to paint my face, I'd have stuck to using stop using a woad. A woad? Elizabeth's eyebrows wrinkled. I do not believe we ever used that, no. No? We did use it to dye clothes from time to time, but not to paint our faces. It would have burnt. Woad can irritate the skin. God's sake. The fuck is woad? A blue dye produced from the leaves of plants. Look at that, we're learning something. We can call my account in my streams educational. Oh, right. I didn't know that. This understanding of mine seems about on par with my earlier superstition. This misunderstanding of mine seems about on par with my earlier supposition, since corrected, that people during Elizabeth's time regularly ate potatoes. I never forget how baffled Elizabeth was when Gran served her a plate of mashed potatoes. She looked at them like, I don't know, they were made from heavenly manna or something. It doesn't make sense logically, again potatoes weren't brought to England until the 16th century, but how was I supposed to know that? So ubiquitous, you'd think they'd always been here. Elizabeth and I chatter for a few minutes about various topics until Gran shuffles over the porridge. Here you are, dears. Your breakfast is served. This one's for you, Elizabeth dear, and this is for Barney. I hope you enjoy. Damn. Her Gran is like top tier. She's making like all their fucking meals for him. Gran's voice is cheery enough, but can't help but note that she handles the balls of her hand that her hands are shaking. Gran's had the shakes for a while, but her tremors seem more pronounced than they've ever been. Is she really alright? She's smelling so much I can't really tell. I think I'd almost be relieved if I knew my Gran was sick, so I'd have something concrete to pin her jitters on, but I don't think there's anything really wrong with her. Nothing at least to save old age. Sadly, there's no recovering from that, despite mankind's collective search since the dawn of creation to reverse the aging process. This Philosopher's Stone doesn't, to my knowledge, exist, and bathing in the blood of virgins proved to be a total bust. No matter who we are or where we come from, we all get old eventually. I swear to God, if the Gran dies by the end of this, I'm going to riot. It never hit me as a kid that, as a human, a Gran's lifespan is finite, but Grandpa Frank's death made it hit home. Gran's not going to be around forever. Now that's pretty Malden thought for so early in the morning. Up to Daisy. Gran mutters this to herself as she slides into her chair. She winches briefly upon the descent as though in pain, but before I've got a chance to ask her how she is, she smells again. She helps herself to a spoonful of her own porridge, her fingers still shaking. They look choppy when contrasted to her spoon, which is clear and silver, solidly, routinely inanimate. Resolutely inanimate, what I said. Spoons and bowls don't age, but people do. We can't escape it. Oh, this is good, Grandma explains, after swallowing a mouthful of her own porridge. I think I've exceeded myself. What do you girls think? Eat up now, dears, before it gets cold. Of course, thank you very much, Gran. Yes, thanks, Gran. I dip my own spoon into my porridge, then bring it to my lips. Pardon me. I begin. The porridge I soon discover is made just how I like it, thick and lumpy with a lot of granulated sugar on top. It's good enough that for a few moments I'm able to forget my concerns about Gran. She can't be in such a bad state, surely, if she's still able to cook like this. I'm much younger than Gran is, and my own cooking leaves a lot to be desired. I even burnt toast for pity's sake. What do you think? Do you girls like it? Oh yes, it is delicious. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not bad, thanks. Good, I'm glad you like it. I wish I could cook for you this evening too, but I'm not sure I'd be up for it. Not as these old hands of mine. They've been awfully shuddery lately, as you might have noticed. Preparing even simple recipes has started to wear me out. Gran speaks lightly as though she's discussing the weather, but the topic of her slow deterioration makes me pause. No, I felt it was a lump in my throat, and no, it's not from my grand's porridge. It's hard and round like a golf ball, and it does disappear even when I swallow. I wonder if I could even stomach the rest of my breakfast. I'd be ashamed to waste it, given Gran went to all the effort, but I won't let the two of you go hungry, though. Jane should be coming over this afternoon to help with dinner. Her shepherd's pie is almost as good as mine, and she's very good at baking too. We should both talk to her. She's been asking after the family, and I think she'd like to see you. Does that sound nice? Oh, yeah, that sounds nice, I guess. Real nice. It does sound cheerful, but I can't quite muster up the enthusiasm. I was talking about my grand's mortal state has been tiring me, and then there's this whole Jane business to worry about. Is she really Lynette resurrected after she and Elizabeth said their farewells in the forest? I have no idea. I figured we need to talk to her sooner rather than later, but the thought of it's more than a little concerning. Hi sis. Aren't you very late? The lesbian's being cute and the Gran is getting old, and I feel like she's going to die by the end of the story, and I'm going to be very upset if that happens. That hard, solid golf ball of anxiety, which was lodged in the base of my throat, seems to have slipped down my esophagus to reside instead in the pit of my stomach. Gran's porridge might be sweet, but right now I can hardly taste it. Breakfast consumed. Lesbians are always cute. I know! They're being extra cute, because this is a sequel. VN, so they're already together. Of course I know that. You're literally speaking to one, sis. Breakfast consumed, Elizabeth and I help Gran clean the tableware, then go out for a wander about the garden. It's early in the morning, but not yet 9 o'clock, but the sun is already high and bright in the sky, as yellow as a pat of butter. The sun's ray warms the top of my head and my scalp, promising future sunburns when it reaches its zenith. See, I know some of the words. I don't pronounce zenith. Maybe I should have put some sunscreen on. Maybe I should curse my hubris. See, maybe I should have put on some sunscreen before heading outside. I made sure to pack a bottle, and it's been sitting unopened in my suitcase since I got here. I have to make sure to remember it tomorrow. Can you wear sun cream and makeup at the same time? I don't actually know. Can you? Okay, you gotta put the sun cream on first, but apparently you can. I have to make sure to remember it tomorrow. As it is, however, I'm a little too late to worry about that. I've been thinking about mundane matters such as sunscreen, but Elizabeth was looking rather maudlin. She really likes to use the word maudlin today. This is like the third time it's been used. She was sure enough this morning when we were talking about the practicalities of using words like lieu of makeup. Take that, Braveheart. But the mentions of Lynette seems to have thrown her. She looks uneasy. Elizabeth said she was my knight last night, but this isn't a one-way thing. I want to protect her too. I've seen many things and many sides of Elizabeth over the last couple of years. While I like most of them, I far prefer when she smiles. Hey, Lizzie. I paused by the lakeside, standing beneath the shade of the top-heavy willow tree, and looked at her. Are you alright? I'd like to believe that I am. Nothing cataclysmic has happened, so there is no need to distress, but I am very curious about this Jane person. I don't blame you, I'm curious about her too. I wonder. I begin, but I choose after a pause not to finish the sentence. It's kind of pointless putting out my wondering into words when they ought to be obvious already. Although Elizabeth's thinking the same as I am. Wonder if she really is Lynette. Well, we'll never know until we meet her, I guess. Do you want to try talking to her this evening? If she really is Lynette, she should recognize you. And if she isn't, well, you can chalk it up to her coincidence. Not that I'm sure I believe in coincidences anymore, after Edmund was revived. Yes, I think that sounds good. I'm a little apprehensive, I will admit, but the thought of seeing my sister again, if indeed it is her. I know I am to blame for her suffering, and I feel remorse for it. Part of me fears that she might hold it against me still. Despite all of her reassurances, I cannot fathom how she could forgive me after all I did. But another part of me hopes for it. Hopes it is her But another part of me hopes for it. Hopes it is her, very much so. I would like to see her again and speak with her, if she would like to see and speak to me, that is. There's much I would like to tell her about my life, if she cares to listen. Oh yeah? Take a step closer to Elizabeth, then nudge her on the side of my shoulder. Like what? I think you ought to know, Marnie. I want to tell her all about my time living with you and your parents, and all the places we've been together, all the things I've seen. I want to tell her about my studies and the books I've been reading, and that I passed my driving test on my very first attempt. Hey, you and me both, girl. Yeah, rub it in. And I want to tell her all about you too, and our relationship. I don't know how I feel about you and how happy you make me. Oh. I blinked, caught off guard by Elizabeth's sweet show of sincerity. My face is starting to get hot, not because of the sunlight, which isn't all that relentless, but because my girlfriend is so freaking sweet. I like to think I'm pretty cool, but when I'm with Elizabeth, I get all shy and stammery. She knows exactly how to surprise me, and her compliments, when they come, make me sigh almost as much as her kisses do. Lizzie, do you really like me all that much? Well, of course I do. I like you an awful lot. You would not be my partner if I didn't. Being with you brings me a good deal of joy, and such a degree, I'd feel guilty keeping it all to myself. It'd be wrong to keep it from my sister. I think when she cares for me so. I know I often give her cause to worry about me, particularly when I was younger, given my impetuousness. I have already been flighty. She feared I would never come back out. Bleh. I've always been flighty. She feared I would never be able to settle down. Her concerns should be assuaged by the very least, if she were to know how comfortable I feel when I am with you. I want to tell her all about you. Jeez, I scratched my cheek with my index finger. I've had it all red and blotchy beneath my foundation. Gross. That's kind of embarrassing, but... As we are a couple, I guess it's only natural you want to tell your sister about us. I think that's fine and all. It's not like I want to keep our relationship a secret, but if you could try dialing your affection down a notch. It's not like I'm all that amazing. Oh, but you are. I think you are wonderful, Marnie. Please do not be so hard on yourself. I can try, I guess. If you can stop being so reverential. I'm not a goddess. No, you are not. You're my girlfriend and my lady. And though I have vowed to protect you, you have often protected me too. Will you stay by me when we speak to Jane, regardless of who she may prove to be? Of course I will. We're in this together. That's what being couple's all about, after all. Or something. I look away, my brow knitted together in one of Gran's knitted cardigans. Like one of Gran's knitted cardigans. Great, now I am the one who sounds corny. Exchanging sweet nothings is like so not my vibe. So I reckon it'll be a while until Jane comes over. Gran did say she dropped by during the evenings. We had a far bit of time to kill until then, so I was thinking you'd want to go for a walk. It's been a while since I came to Fen Chapel, and I figured it might help take your mind off things, if that's what you want, of course. Oh, that sounds lovely. It's a very pleasant day, and I think it'll be more pleasant still spending it in your company. Thank you verily for bestowing upon me this privilege, milady. I shall not forget your favour. Sure, that's great, I guess. Elizabeth talks in a fairly modern parlance nowadays, having spent a decent chunk of time in the 21st century, but sometimes she peppers her speech with more dated terms, typically when she's excited. I'm not quite sure if she's putting it on for show or whether she's being sincere. Lily Elizabeth, who finds it hard to knowingly tell lies, I'd say the latter. She's not a very good actress. Do you want to head to the church? It's fairly scenic. Yes, indeed. I would very much like to take a look at the stained glass window and the guest book. I love seeing your handwriting that one time. When you were a small child, it was very precious. Thanks, I think. Elizabeth gets a kick out of the strangest things. It's not fair, I think, pouting that I can't look at her baby photos as she has mine, or coo over her old school uniform, her childish drawings scrawled in clumsy wax crayon, her first awkward attempts at writing her own name. The Libyans. Speaking of which, I got some lesbian stickers at the con, and I'm still not sure what I'm gonna put them on yet. I don't know what I could stick them to. I can't really stick them to my bags. I guess I can stick them to my phone case, maybe? I don't know yet. It has an old shoebox full of bits and pieces of my childhood, including a hank of my own hair that I snipped off when I was 6, which Elizabeth regularly likes to sort through and giggle over. Oh, Marnie, she often said, grinning. You were so adorable. Elizabeth, alas, doesn't have any such trinkets of her own childhood, given that happened centuries ago. Didn't have cameras back then, so she didn't have any baby photos, and of course she never went to primary school. I have no idea what Elizabeth looked like when she was little, but I can guess. She would have been shorter than she is now, but just as inquisitive, always eager to embark on new adventures. In some ways, Elizabeth's quite like a kid even now. She's eager about almost everything, and she's full of energy, but I like that. When I've had enough sleep to appreciate being around her, that is. Being Elizabeth never fails to make me happy. Elizabeth and I walk companionably to the church, down a winding dirt path, down a winding dirt track that's lined with trees and tall grass. There's a breeze, but it's a warm, treacly kind of breeze, which does little to alleviate the unpleasant mugginess in the air. But it's pretty unbearable, really. I mean, yeah, it's been really muggy over here in Scotland the last few days. It's a horrible, especially when it starts raining, when it's really warm. So you can't put on a jacket or anything because you start sweating, but also it's raining, and it's not very. I don't like it. It's bad. But I try to console myself. Maybe I'm coping. At least a part of Fen Chapel is very picturesque. The sort of scene I'd want to paint for posterity. I have a soft spot for chalk pastels and watercolors, believe it or not. And I do like landscape paintings. One of my childhood trips to Fen Chapel, which made me appreciate the statelessness. How the fuck do you say this word? Stateliness. How do you say it? Alright, YouTube, tell me how I say this word.
Stateliness.
Stateliness. Thank you. Very cool. What are my childhood trips to Fen Chapel, which makes me appreciate the stateliness of a good tree so much. It is intense, especially for England, but maybe I should make the most of it. I know if it was in the middle of winter, complaining about the cold. Maybe I'm just a contrarian. But that's so real though. It's always during the winter, it's depressing, and I don't want to leave. Like, I want to go out, and it always sucks. It's dark and it's cold. And then it's with the moment it turns summer, I'm sweating and complaining about the heat. The con was so warm. I feel sorry for everyone wearing wigs. Thankfully, my cosplay I was just my natural hair. Oh, it cools down for the nice con. Elizabeth, for her part, seems optimistic. She's humming to herself, her arms linked behind her back and her skirt fluttering around her legs. I think I recognize that song she's humming. It sounds awfully familiar, but I can't quite place it. Not until more humming ensues. Hey. What are you humming that for? What? Is there a problem? Yes, the problem. That's a big problem. That song you were humming, it was Golden Year, wasn't it? Yes, you're correct. It's a very catchy song, do you not agree? I'll look it up. Apparently a song by David Bowie. I'd listen to it now, but I don't want the copyright police to come after my ass, so maybe not. And if it be catchy, yeah, after being subjected to it like a bajillion times. Mom's always playing that stupid song. Hoping to finally get away from it out in Fan Chapel. Come back before you end. Okay, bye Gwen. Talk to you later. If I'm not here by the time you get back, I'll, I'm chronically on Twitter. Thanks for stopping by. If you don't make it back. God. I sigh, then kick at the floor for good measure. Since when you're a measure of Valentin Roth's Appreciation Society? Is Valentin Roth even a real, like... He's a real... I think he's a real guy, but... I don't think he didn't write a song called Golden Year. Or not? Maybe he just doesn't exist. I think Valentin Roth is a real guy, never mind. I've been bamboozled. Since when did you become a member of the Valentin Roth Appreciation Society? Well, let me think. I mean, I meant this in jest, but Elizabeth seems to be taking it seriously. She stands there, one hand clasped beneath her chin and ponders. I do not think that appreciation is quite the word, but I do not hate him. Not as you seem so, not as you seem to. His music really isn't bad. There's a reason why your mother is always listening to him. Yeah, there is, and I'll spell it out for you. It's because she has a problem. Don't let Valentin Roth win you over, Lizzie. You're like 30 years too young to be into that washed up old geezer. You say that, but I think you'll find I'm far older than he is. Technically, yeah, but it's not like you were actually conscious for all those years. Really, you don't look a day over 18. Why, thank you. I do appreciate it, my lady. Elizabeth giggles, then drops me a curtsy, pinching her skirt between her hands. I do not have a problem with Valentin Roth, though. I admit he is not my favorite bard. Bard. But his songs are rather charming. I think you are being overly critical, Marnie, because your mother likes him. Well, duh. I grew up with my mom blasting his CDs on repeat, like, non-stop. Our family holidays were plagued with his syrupy vocals. That's so real, though. What? I don't remember what the band's called. Hold on. I'm forgetting what the guy's called. My mom's been playing the same album from this one band. It feels like my whole life. What's it called? I think it's Miles Kennedy. I'm sure he spells his name. Miles Kennedy. What the fuck's band is he a part of? Is he a solo artist? Alter Bridge, that's who it is. That's what I'm thinking of. Mom's like a huge Alter Bridge fan. especially Mouse Kennedy. And she plays like one of their albums literally every. It feels like I've been hearing it since I was born, and I'll probably hear it to the day I die. I think it's just a mum thing. But I remember my parents' music taste were basically the soundtrack of my childhood holidays. I still got like huge nostalgia whenever I listened to whatever albums. Like it's a few specific songs in the albums my dad was really into on certain holidays. Good times. Kinda. I think I have the right to be a little pissed at him. I know he doesn't know it, but he single-handedly ruined my childhood. No, you are exaggerating. I do not believe Valentin would do that. He seems like a nice man in all of the documentaries. Did I just spell Valentin wrong? Hold on. Spell it weird. No, I spelled it right. I just don't think he's a real guy. There's something on IMDb, actually. So there's no picture and nothing about this man. He's apparently married to Miguel de la Fuente? What the fuck's that? Oh, he's a footballer. Apparently he's married, someone married to a Spanish footballer. I definitely don't think that's it. It's probably just a made-up person. Which is weird because so much stuff that's referenced in the last novel were real stuff. Documentaries? If I was staring at Elizabeth before, I'm downright gawping now. So why did you start watching Valentin Roth documentaries? I watched a couple with your mother. They were rather interesting. You ought to have joined them. Your mother gets quite teary-eyed during the segments that deal with Valentin's home life. When his father died, I had to give her a hug. Oh. I think that hug would have meant more coming from you than me, though. For God's sake. It's even worse than I thought. Elizabeth is on the road to total brainwashing. You need to get her to listen to real music stat, where she turns into a die-hard Valentin stan like my mother. No, that's a creepy thought. I'm not the only young person who likes Valentin either. Brigitte does too. From your job? Yes. Elizabeth's been working part-time at the local garden centre for a while, tending to the plants, working the tills. Not the most glamorous of jobs, but she seems to enjoy it. She's pretty personable, and she likes talking with the customers. She likes talking with her co-workers too. She's made quite a few friends over the months, Brigitte being one of them. How do you pronounce that name?
Brigitte.
Yeah, I was based. That wasn't on the mark. Brigitte being among them. I know they got on. They've been shopping together a few times, but I had no idea they talked about Valentin Roth. How did Valentin even come up in conversation anyway? I told Brigitte about one of the documentaries I'd watched, and she was very enthusiastic. She said her mother loved Valentin too. That's not a big surprise. He's a real heartthrob for bored 40 to 50 something year old housewives with nothing better to do. Doesn't mean Brigitte actually likes him though. Because I hope she doesn't. Otherwise I'll have to start vetting who Elizabeth can hang out with. Fair of us bigger playfully resume our walk until after about 10 minutes we reach Fanchapel's church. Church looks about the same as it always does, and I presume the same it always has for the last couple of centuries. It's a smallish, unremarkable sort of church. The kind that might impress an American tourist. Why would any American tourist come to Fanchapel though? And it wouldn't take your average Englander. It wouldn't make your average Englander blink. Therefore, the UK has a lot of really nice churches. I'm not personally a Christian, but damn, they built some fancy buildings. These kind of churches were everywhere in the UK. See? She gets it. Pretty much every village has one of their own, with similar looking stone walls and similar sounding names. All St. Mary's and Jameses and so on. I don't know why Mary and James are so prevalent when it comes to the naming of churches. I don't know all that much about Christianity, despite my Aunt Joyce's best efforts to indoctrinate me growing up, but I'm sure there's more saints than them. What about, oh, I don't know, St. Eliburga? Eliburga? Or St. Agnatus? Maybe those are a little too niche. I don't know about these weirder, lesser known saints, thanks to my trawl on Wikipedia a while back. Penchapel's church is rather pretty though. I suppose despite being totally standard in almost everywhere. I say almost because there's at least one point in which Penchapel's church stands out from the rest of the crowd, namely in regards to its stained glass window. Wow. The window's the very first thing I see when I step inside the church, Elizabeth trailing along my heels. I've seen this window a bunch of times, of course, but it never fails to impress. Not a particularly large stained glass window, but the fact that a tiny village church has like Fenchapel as a stained glass window is pretty impressive to begin with. Not like Fenchapel's church is York Minster. What the fuck's York Minster? I feel like I should know what that is. A very fancy church in York. I don't know what I expected. Oh fuck! It's closed right now. It opens at 9:30 tomorrow. You know, if anyone wants to go to York Minster, then there's your opening time. The scene the window depicts, meanwhile, makes it even stranger. The window shows a dragon, a vicious, sharp-fanged monster facing off against a knight on horseback. I used to come to Fenchapel Church as a kid, and when I did, I was there captivated at that fascinating scene depicted in the stained glass. To me, it looked like something from an adventure story, way too cool to be related to the stuffy old Bible. I asked my mother what she thought the window depicted. As a kid, I figured my parents, my mother in particular, knew everything, and she told me she thought it was St. George. Later, after meeting Elizabeth, I was given an alternative reading of Fenchapel's distinctive stained glass. Elizabeth thought the knight in the window was St. Theodore, some lesser-known saint famed for his skills when it came to exterminating large, scaly lizards. During my research, however, Elizabeth and I came to the conclusion the intrepid demon dragon slayer and the stained glass is neither St. George nor St. Theodore. It is instead Leofe. The dragon, meanwhile, which is bearing down upon the dragon, is Lynette. Now that was quite a lot to wrap my head around, especially when Elizabeth and I had to face off against Lynette in the woods after she transformed into a murderous lizard. The dragon depicted in the stained glass doesn't do Fenchapel's real dragon justice. The dragonish Lynette was much bigger and more imposing. It's a wonder we were ever able to defeat her, but with our efforts combined, Elizabeth and I emerged more or less unscathed, aside from nearly dying at one time. We escaped to tell the tale, not that anyone would believe us, which is more than can be said for the scores of other knights throughout the ages, foolhardily enough to challenge the dragon in Fenchapel's forest. I say we did pretty well for ourselves, all things considered. Ah, jeez, now I'm starting to feel all sentimental. It was only a couple of years ago that Elizabeth and I faced off against the dragon, but it feels like way longer. Time sure does fly. As if to remind myself. Hold on. EP. Lily's so sleepy. As if to remind myself further of this fact, I slink over to the guest book, which rests upon the wooden stand near the entrance to the church, and flip through it. My mom was big on me signing this guest book whenever I came to Fenchapel's church as a kid, for Easters and Christmases with my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and all my cousins. Such a bunch of the neat lined pages stashed inside the book that it's stashed inside this old book, full of my wibbly wobbly childish scrawls, testament to my poor penmanship. I'm still not the best when it comes to handwriting, My dad often jokes I make a good doctor, but at least my spelling's improved. Oh look, you must have written that. You must have written that, Marty. Elizabeth, who's been peering at the guest book over my shoulder, giggles, then pointed out my offending message. Your handwriting isn't the easiest to read, but I think I get the general gist. You see here that you had a good time at the Easter service, though. Although, does this say that the priest is going bald? Oh yeah. My eyes flicker across the childish remark written in sloping letters that seem ready to fall over. The priest has a big pink spot on his head. He should get it looked at by a doctor. And blush. Kids can be cruel, huh? I think I remember this priest actually. Worked at Fen Chapel Church for a while. With every service he presided over, he continued to get balder and balder. I remember gawping at the pink spot on his head until my mother nudged me and told me to stop staring. She said it was rude, which of course it was, but I don't think I meant ill by it. I was just curious where all his hair had gone. I think I thought he had some kind of medical condition. It was concerning. It was concerning, I swear, which makes me write in the guest book about his balding pate. I wasn't trying to be mean. It was a wonder my mother let me write that comment down at all. Why didn't she cross it out? Maybe she didn't notice it. I feel sorry for that priest. I hope you didn't bully him too much, Marnie. Oh please, I was only a little kid. Maybe I could have gotten one over on a grown man. I'm sure he was able to live with it. That's what I say, but I reflected it's been a while since I saw that priest. I figure he just retired. He was getting on in years, and maybe my staring at his bald head coupled with his faultless comment, coupled to this faultless comment I left in the guest book back in 2008 was the last straw. I'm starting to worry that I really might have hurt his feelings. Oh well, this is, as they say, ancient history. I continue to peruse the guest book, lost in my memories, while Elizabeth titters over some of my more facetious comments. Eventually, however, we tire of this activity and turn to leave the church. Give the stained glass dragon one last backwards glance, recalling Elizabeth's skirmish with the beast deep within the foggy forest. Then, smiling, I step out into the sunshine. The sun's golden rays kiss the top of my head the moment I leave the church. I think it's even warmer than it was earlier, because sweat instantly begins to brew anew on my brow. How charming. Not. Hope it doesn't get too much hotter on the days, as the days we're on. I wouldn't, want my makeup to run. That'd defeat the whole purpose of applying it in the first place. A black eyeshadow might look kinda cool, at least, running down my cheeks in spidery lines. I've tried looking through that before, just for the hell of it, but my mother always sucks in her breath and looks alarmed when she sees me trapezing about the house with enough dripping mascara to rival a gelated braid. I don't think she's a big fan. Although she seems particularly appreciative of any of my looks. As a genius, I'm sadly fated to be misunderstood by all, sobs up. I raise my arms above my head, stretching and glance about. The sun might be hotter, but the graveyard itself is just as empty as it was when Elizabeth and I first arrived here. Cast my eyes across some of the lichen-spotted graves, reading the names brazen upon them. I saw my grandfather fairly quickly, Frank Lennox, his grave being one of the newer ones. The raised earthen mound at his foot strewn with flowers. Wonder if my grand's been here recently. She may have left those flowers, but that could have been Aunt Alison's handiwork. She and Ruby and Pearl live over in Emmingham? But it's not so far from Grimsby. Is that a real place? Emmingham is indeed a real place. It's actually not far from Grimsby either, which is where this town is supposed to be close to. It's unlikely this offering would have been left by Uncle Stephen, who lived out in Barton, or Aunt Leda, who I think is living in New York. She moves so often that it's hard to keep tabs on her. Uncle Jim, meanwhile, is in the doghouse, proverbially speaking, after that hoo-ha over him trying to admit Gran into an old folks' home. My mother still isn't on speaking terms with him. I've not seen Uncle Jim or Aunt Elaine or David or Oliver in ages. Past my grandfather's grave, I can see rows of older tombstones belonging to people whose names and faces I can't place. Dina Pruitt, Clovis Howard, Timothy Reynolds. Try to conjure images of the dearly departed in my head. These are nothing more than their names and brief snippets providing their tombstone. They shall be missed. I've spoke about this before, but I think we should put cause of death on tombstones. Like I want, however I go out, I want that put on my tombstone. I want it to be like I've died in Terraria. I'm in Mascaria, hit by train. I don't know that's about that immediately the death my brain went to. What was Dina Pruitt like, I wonder? Her surname puts into mind of a serious woman, like a Victorian schoolmistress, with a high forehead and a hooked nose. Pruitt sounds like it might be a good name for a gardening implement, come to think of it. It has a quite earthly sound to it, maybe because of the double T's at the end. It's not a very common last name. I don't think I've ever met a Pruitt before, beyond the deceased Dina. And it'd be a lie to say I've met her, really. Given she died about Given she died about a century ago. I've not even met her corpse. It's buried too far beneath the earth. I can imagine she might have looked like, though, and how she might have acted, and what her voice might have sounded like. I imagine Clovis Howard too. He seems posh, so I figure he was some sort of gentleman. It's not hard to imagine Timothy Reynolds either. He seems to think of a landscape painter, but according to his tombstone, he died when he was only 3, too young to even make satisfying finger paintings. I entertained myself with the graves thus, lost in my own little world until... Hey Marnie? Yeah? I turned my eyes away from Miriam's Spicer's, or is that Spencer's? Unkempt grave and turned to Elizabeth Askins. Is something wrong? I'm not actually sure. This might be my imagination, but do you feel like there's something strange about this graveyard? Beyond all the dead bodies burned underneath our feet, you mean? Oh no, I do not think that is very strange. That is what graveyards are for. I am not bothered by the dead. I am more concerned about somebody may, at this moment, be observing us. Really? Scan the graveyard, but try as I might, I can't see anything untoward. I don't feel like I'm being observed. I don't think there's anybody around. I don't think there's anybody out here, Lizzie, other than us, and can't sense anything at all. Do you not sense anything awry? Not really, no. I see. Elizabeth sighs. Perhaps I am being paranoid, though. I do not think that is the case. I have felt on edge since we emerged from the church. Something does not feel right. It is almost as though... Elizabeth scans the trees which surround us, her brown eyes narrowed. I am being called by something. Something? Yes, something. Okay. This is starting to get kind of freaky now. Forget the dead. Sorry, me and Spicer/Spencer. But Elizabeth's one woman performance is creeping me out more than that bunch of old dusty bones ever could. And what do you think that something wants? Do you have any idea? I am not certain. My senses, however, are telling me, and keenly, that it is waiting for us deep in the forest. I think it wishes to speak to us. And to what? And you mean to what? Waltz right up to it and give it what it wants? If communicating with it will give us answers, then yes. I fear it is what I must do. I know I may be walking into a trap, but please try to understand. Something's been amiss since we arrived in Fen Chapel. I could not have been a coincidence we met Edmund. I cannot say why he was brought here, but perhaps there exists a being in the forest who can tell us. Perhaps it wishes to aid us. I don't know. I have to grasp my boot, taking care not to kick any stray dirt into Grandpa Frank's grave or the flowers placed by a mysterious hand. I'm sure now that the offerings are from Gran. So if there exists anything in the forest that wanted to help us, all we got when we went last time could be disembodied whispers, skeletal knights, and a dragon. I don't know if I want to face down a bunch of supernatural monsters again. You will not have to. Not if you're with me. I'll protect you as your knight. Worry not, Marnie. Elizabeth smiles, but her expression is too strained to be consoling. I wish she didn't look so anxious. It'd make it easier for me to place my faith in her. Not that I don't trust her, because I do. I just trust the forest and all the strange creatures that lurk within it far less. No harm will come to you. We're together. I promise that. Hey, Elizabeth, wait! I called my girlfriend, but it's in vain. Elizabeth has already set off. I think she means to pursue the invisible observer, whatever it is, and though I can't feel its gaze upon me, I find myself shuddering regardless. I don't want to go into the forest, but I don't want to be left here on my own either. I suppose I'm not technically alone, surrounded by companions, but for once, corpses aren't cutting it. Wait for me, damn it! Don't leave me on my own. I'm not very knightly. It's not very knightly of you. So saying, I hurry along behind Elizabeth, almost stumbling over my own platform heels in the process. Together, we venture into the forest. I believe I shall leave it here, though, on a nice cliffhanger. One, because I like being cruel to you all. And two, because my throat is very sore, and I am very thirsty. I already drank all the cola I brought for today. It's okay. Because I like being mean. Come back to my stream next week and you can find out what happens next. But my throat is very, very sore. I won't get the chance to stream I probably won't get the chance to stream until next Sunday. My graded unit in college is there on Thursday rather. And I'm so yeah, I gotta lock the fuck in and grind that out, or I'm fucked. There's my brother's birthday over the weekend, or like around that time. And then I'm working over the weekend as well. So I'm a very busy bee the next few days, or the next week. But I'll probably stream more next week. And I shall see you all then. Bye.